Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an expert on government here in the Commonwealth discusses the debt ceiling issue the entire country is facing. And the ACLU of Kentucky files a motion for preliminary injunction relief for a part of Senate Bill 150 that impacts transgender youth.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's almost 5 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you. Let's head on over to Brandon for a look at that forecast this morning. Brandon, I don't know where you are. There you are. Good morning.
Good morning.
I had an extended weekend.
You did?
And it was great. I slept. It was great.
Hey, listen, it was a pretty good weekend all the way around.
Yeah.
I went to one of your favorite places.
Dollywood.
Brought you something.
I know you did. A caramel apple.
Yep.
I told you to Venmo request me.
Nah, I got you.
Good.
All right, the forecast this morning, not terrible, but there is a little bit of fog out there, so watch out for that this morning. Ran into some of that on my way in, and we're seeing it starting to congeal here in Hazard just a little bit, even though it's not showing up on the sensor at the airport. It's definitely in town. I'm looking at the outdoor camera right now, and you can see it in the valleys from Buffalo Mountain. But you see 2 miles down toward Jacksboro, zero visibility over in Charleston, over at Yeager Airport this morning. So again, just be careful across parts of the region. You can see back from downtown looking back toward the station, the fog building in here, but again, downtown not looking too bad. 52 at Triangle Park. And temperatures much warmer than they were this time yesterday morning. The only 40 we have at the moment is 49 in Clintwood. Logan's at 63, along with Prestonsburg and Pikeville, 61, Jackson, Moorhead, and Monticello this morning. Everybody else, for the most part, in the mid to upper 50s. A couple of low 50s out there. Out the door forecast, we're going to see another mix of sun and clouds. Another chance for a sprinkle today in those western counties, but overall, another nice day shaping up out there across the region. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Economists say if lawmakers don't reach a debt ceiling deal, millions of Americans could lose their jobs, Social Security checks could be delayed, and the nation's credit rating could be lowered. But how does that impact your everyday life? Eastern Kentucky University Associate Professor of Government, Dr. Matthew Howell, compares the debt ceiling to a parent issuing a child an allowance. If you don't have enough money, you can ask a parent or guardian, which in this case would be Congress, for more money. Much like the scenario, the question becomes, what are the conditions for you actually receiving the money?
When we hit that day, again, there are a number of things we could do. The government could sell assets it doesn't want to sell. The government could decide to shut down.
Well, Dr. Howell said those actions could have an impact on things like national parks, the post office, and the ability to get your passport, just to name a few agencies. He says if bond ratings change due to the U.S. not paying its bills, then it could impact retirement accounts. The ACLU of Kentucky filed a motion for a preliminary injunction relief for a portion of Senate Bill 150. The section of the bill would ban essential medical care for transgender youth, and it is scheduled to take effect June 29th. Leaders with the ACLU filed the motion to stop the ban from taking effect while their lawsuit against SB 150 goes through the court system. The NAACP is warning black people and the members of the LGBTQ community to not travel to Florida. The group issued a formal travel advisory Saturday saying the state is in part, quote, openly hostile toward African Americans, people of color, and LGBTQ plus individuals, end quote. The NAACP's action came one day after another civil rights group, the League of United Latin American Citizens, issued a similar travel ban. The president of the Lexington chapter of the NAACP reacted to the advisory.
It is imperative at this point that we try to affect some type of change so that this type of behavior and these type of policies don't continue to become embedded into the system and grow like a cancer.
The NAACP says this is not a boycott of the state right now. It's just an advisory. Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to announce his candidacy for president this week. Election races will not just be a heavy topic online and in workplaces this fall, but teachers look to involve students in those conversations as well. Including creativity with current events is something Hazard High School teacher Patrick Hall says bring about a lot of interest in students, and that includes races and laws directly impacting them at those times. Hall says while students may get tired of hearing political commercials, they are intrigued with how it affects them.
Especially the class that we teach to our sophomores is political science. So that's usually the class where we're talking mostly about government and politics. You know, sometimes it may get sprinkled into the other classes as well, but yeah, absolutely. Anytime we have an actual election, we do try to integrate that.
Summer break for Hazard High School students starts this week, but teachers will be including election discussions in the fall curriculum right before the election of Kentucky's next governor. Yesterday, Kentucky State Police launched its Click It or Ticket campaign. KSP Post 13 held a news conference about the importance of the campaign. Trooper Matt Gayhart talked about why this campaign is vital for the safety of Kentuckians, especially as we approach the summer months and peak travel season.
We're looking at Memorial Day weekend. You know, that's the first extended long holiday weekend that we see right around summertime. We expect there to be increased traffic flow in and out of the counties. So the reason we want to make this push now is because of that increased number of people on the roadways.
Well, Trooper Gayhart says in the event of a crash, the chance of survival is greatly increased if the driver and passengers in the car are wearing a seatbelt. Well, thank you so much for getting your Tuesday morning started with us here. I can't speak. Coming up, the U.S. Secret Service begins an investigation after the driver of a U-Haul truck crashed through security barriers near the White House.
Another day filled with more sunshine is on the way, but some changes are coming a little bit later this week. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.